going on, people? This is Sion, and I haven't done a sun is on my face. I haven't done a car video in forever, man. It's been years, and I'm too lazy to do an actual upload. So I don't really want to edit a video and go through the specifics about the topic I have to talk about, which essentially is the state of gaming, state of all gaming, as a matter of fact. If any of you guys know me, you know I've played pretty much all genres. I played them all, and what I've noticed in gaming over the past, more than a decade of just gaming, it's not so much the corporations changing, right? They've always stayed fast on their model of maximizing profits and minimizing costs, right? You know, try to get more players, get newer players. That's always been like their thing, right? That has not changed. As a matter of fact, I think it's gotten even, profit has always been king. And developers, I don't think any of that stuff has changed. I don't know, I really can't talk to a developer's passion to make games. But what I will say that has changed is the players. The players just don't, they want it all. They want to be casuals, and at the same time, professionals, right? And they don't want to necessarily, put in the work. And I'll give you a good example, right? I use my daughter as an example. So I pick my daughter up every day for the most part, maybe with an exception of Friday. So I leave work at around 5, and then it takes me about an hour to get to where she is. So her school is, the time period is from 7:20 until 4:45. Then she goes to this place called Playday. So they come, they pick her up, and they take her to a place called Playday, which is essentially on the block. That's the only reason I agreed to that, right? And so from 4:45 up until around like 6:15, she's at Playday. So I spend an hour traveling from work. So it takes me an hour from work. I leave work around 5. If traffic is all right, I usually just, it's New York City, so there are a bunch of little areas you can cut through to kind of avoid the popular routes that most people take in New York City, right? Brooklyn, to be specific. And so I get there around an hour, sometimes an hour and 15 minutes. And here's the thing, right? My daughter is 6. She's about to be 7 soon. And she knows how to put on her coat. She knows how to put on her book bag. She knows how to grab her lunch bag. She knows how to do all of these things, right? But for the past 2 years, since she's been in this school, right? We had her in another school, but since she's been in that school, every time I go to pick my daughter up, that has never happened. So I walk in. The first thing my daughter says to me is, "Dad, do you have a snack? Do you have my snack?" I say, "Yes, sweetie, here's your snack." Now she's going to grab the snack, have some kind of grievance about if she likes it or she doesn't. If she doesn't like it, she'll let me know. "Well, Dad, I told you I didn't so-and-so," right? This is a 6-year-old, right? And so she'll eat it, but she'll go back to do what it is that she was doing before I got there. So here I am packing my daughter's bag, right? Checking to see if all of her books are in there, right? checking to see if all of her lunch bag has her, you know, the containers, because my lady will say, oh, you forgot the containers. Great. I do all of that. I then have to put on her jacket, put on her hat, put on her gloves, especially when it's in the wintertime. The summer is a bit easier. I just grab her stuff and we go. And then, you know, we leave. She says bye-bye to everyone and we leave. So now it would be great if I could come in and her stuff is ready. She has her jacket on, her lunch bag is checked, and her book bag is set up, and I can just walk in and go. So I leave there around like 6:30. Then I spend another hour. Sometimes, you know, it depends. Not an hour, maybe like 40 minutes, 45 minutes to get home. Right? And this is what gaming is, right? Gaming for players, in a sense, this is what it's become. They not only want you to, which they could do it themselves, right? They want you as a developer to set up everything for them and then also give them a fucking snack, right? And when you give them the snack, they might have a grievance about the snack, right? No one wants to, and you know, this is just my personal opinion. It's not etched in stone anywhere, right? I have no data to back this up. This is all anecdotal, right? This is just based on my experiences, all right? Not only do they want you to put on their coat, make sure their lunch bag is set up right, they also want a snack, right? They don't want to, you know, put in that work so when the game does come, the game can function. No, there are all these stipulations that has to be attached. And the thing is, you know, I don't necessarily, well, I guess I kind of blame, you know, just players in general. You shouldn't have been spending, and I've said this a long time ago, if you're late teens and you're in your 20s, you shouldn't be spending time gaming. You shouldn't spend a significant amount of time gaming. What you should do, it should be in passing, right? So you can just maintain your skills, but most of your time should be spent building your foundation. So when you get older, you have disposable time. You have time where you have some kind of flexibility. You don't have to go work 10-hour shifts, and when you come home, you know, you're like, I don't have enough time to invest into gaming. I need the game to do X, Y, Z for me. And that is gaming in a nutshell, right? That's what it's become. And I've always, you know, this is not like a flex or anything like that, but when I was younger, I was at that place where I could invest time in gaming, because I could invest time in gaming. I could, you know, focus on the stuff that I needed to focus on. So now I'm a bit older. You know, I could easily do whatever it is that I want to do. No one's checking for my time at all. Maybe an exception, my lady and my kid, but no one's checking for my time at work. No one's checking for me in those instances, right? I can't remember the last time I worked. I mean, I do, because, you know, I was gonna say I can't remember the last time I worked the weekend, but I mean, I do work in the afternoon, in the evenings and stuff like that, but that's based on something that I want to do. There's never anything mandated, all right? So that is what has become gaming. Like, gamers are older now. They most likely didn't do the things that they needed to do when they were younger, and now they don't have that time to invest into gaming, and so they want the jacket to be ready for them. They want the lunch bag to be ready. They want a snack, right? They want to be able to do all these things to compete with players who, you know, not only existing players, but players who have the free time. And then it's a cycle. It just never ends. And again, corporations have not changed. They've always wanted to minimize profit, maximize profits and minimize costs. If you look at the phone company, and everyone's approach now, it's more subscription based, right? you want to get players locked in, right? That's what you want to do. Want to get them locked in. And once you get them locked in, you don't necessarily have to put so much focus on them. It's the newer players, the players who haven't been locked in. You want to get those guys. So you want to have incentives. Hey, we realize that you don't have the time to invest, you know, to gaming, to be that that all-star. Well, we'll set up, we'll create, you know, we'll make this game, you know, a certain way where you can feel as if you're, you know, you're doing something. Hey, you're not that good. We won't put you in random lobbies. We will standardize the lobbies now, right? It'll be based on some criteria in terms of skill, games played, etc. Oh, you want to get into this MMO, but these guys have been playing it for X number of years. We'll have a catch-up system. Not only that, we will cap almost all of our content. If you look at Black Desert Online and a variety of MMOs, that is what corporations will do to attract players, right? It's not as if they have some like personal if it was feasible, if it was profitable for them to have existing players and still make a profit, they will do it. But that is not the case, right? It just doesn't work into a capitalistic system. I mean, as a matter of fact, we have like a mixed market system, but that is the point. And so the sooner you guys realize this, and I've realized this a long time ago, it's better for you. That's why I don't really invest my time in forming these bonds with games. I play it, I enjoy it, I try to be competitive in those games, and then I leave. There's no nostalgia, or I mean, in some respects, when you interact with like other players, like that to me, like I've made a lot of solid friends in gaming, and I can't, I can't say that was not a positive thing. Like, to me, that's one of the interesting things about gaming in general, and especially the way technology is like kind of advanced. You now are able to make friends with people from afar, and in some respects, because of the pandemic, like that is all you knew for a certain amount of time. And so you've built this bond, and you realize that, hey, I could have this friend, and it doesn't have to be something physical. But I'm not of that opinion that like that is the right way to build a friendship. But if it happens, it happens. I'm not against it. But to me, I would rather see you and meet you and talk to you, and physically have a discussion with you. Like, nonverbal cues are important, and sometimes you don't get those because people might not turn on their cameras. You're just listening to the person's voice, and they could be anyone, right? But anyway, that is my approach to, that's what I think about gaming. The corporations haven't changed, the players have. Anyway, I'm out.